Dennis, it's the beginning of my first year as mayor of Mission Viejo. I'm really excited about that opportunity to begin with. I have a lot of ideas rattling around in my head about some of the things that I'd like to do, and I need your leadership and guidance in how we can get some of these things done. And I know that the primary focus in our city has always been public safety. I've got some ideas around that. I'd like to hear what you think is important as well.
Well, public safety, as you indicated, has always been a priority for the City Council for the 30 years that we've been incorporated as a city. We have a new police chief on board now, and he's full of energy and ideas. You're going to find that he's going to be hard to keep up with because he has just one idea after another. School safety is certainly something that is in the forefront of things that we ought to be focusing on.
Right.
Neighborhood safety. We're doing a good job in the major categories. We continue to be ranked as one of the safest cities in the country as well as the state.
As you know, right after the Parkland horrible, terrific shooting that took place down in Florida, I began Secure OC Schools. So I want to talk to Chief Q about how we meld those two things together, getting the city to work on having the cars equipped with the tools they need should anything happen in any of our schools. Secure OC Schools are going to work on stop the bleed kits and those sorts of things. So those are things that I think we can work together with Chief Q and the city on managing.
Earlier this year, when Councilmember Ed Sachs became mayor of Mission Viejo, we sat down and we discussed ways to make our city the safest city in the United States. One of those ways is to increase our police presence in our schools, our businesses, and our community. We created innovative programs such as the Adopt a Cop program, and that program allows deputy sheriffs to complete administrative work that they would normally do at the police station or at City Hall, and they're going to do that at the school level. That way there's more of a deputy presence on our campuses to help our kids feel safe and be safe. Through Secure OC Schools, which Mayor Sachs founded, he and I discussed how can we equip and train our personnel to make sure that we have the best response possible in case there's an active shooter event. And through that, we have sent all of our deputies to our critical incident response team training, where they're trained on the usage of a patrol rifle and the tactics that are involved in rapid entry. In addition to that, we also purchased breach tools for all of our vehicles. With the partnerships that we've built with the Orange County Sheriff's Department, the City of Mission Viejo, Secure OC Schools, Saddleback Valley, and Capistrano Valley Unified School District, we're putting public safety first.
I know that there's a lot of concern about wildfires and even brush fires here in the area. So let's see if we can't work with Orange County Fire Authority and how we can mitigate some of the areas between our urban wildlands, if you will, and the city and the residents that come close to those areas.
No, absolutely. That's and the fire authority has been a tremendous partner, and that's certainly something very easily we can rely on their expertise to identify those areas that are most critical, and then our public services, public works staff can make sure we take care of those so that we improve the defensible space, as they like to call it.
Another thing that came up as we had our discussion early in the year was the fire threat, the wildfire threat in the city of Mission Viejo. As we look through that, we look at the live vegetation around the city of Mission Viejo and the city-owned open spaces. What we've actively done this year is we've partnered with the city in our effort to reduce the fire risk throughout the city of Mission Viejo. The city's been a great partner, and I look forward to advancing that even further next year.
I know that this city aches for some of the other kinds of assets that we have here, like cultural arts, and maybe there's some things we could do with the cultural arts plan, master plan, to start to activate and grow that as well.
One of the first things that we've been able to do is open the Pataki Center for the Arts, which is really exciting. It gives us a home for all of our arts education programs and for growing the arts in Mission Viejo. We've had really good success with increasing the number of classes and camps that we're able to offer for all ages. Our Arts for All Ages program has been really popular. We've also been able to do some larger programs here. This is the first year that we were able to host Shakespeare by the Sea here at the Pataki Center. We had a great turnout for that with hundreds of people. So it was really fun to be able to offer such a great quality cultural experience. And we continue to grow our programs and services here at Pataki and throughout the city. We're working with our Friends of the Arts and with some of our local business partners to help develop funding and additional opportunities for expanding public art. On the library side of things, we're really excited to be offering the Mission Viejo Kinder Ready program, which is a grant-funded program through the Library Services and Technology Act. And that's giving us the chance to expand our early childhood development programs for kids age 0 to 5. And we're really focusing on kindergarten readiness and reaching kids who are vulnerable on certain developmental measures so that they can be prepared for success all the way through school. Studies show that where you are when you start kindergarten affects where you are at grade 3, which is an indicator of your success all the way through school. So we're trying to get to these kids early, make sure they get off to a strong start, and have a foundation for success throughout their school years.
And the other quality of life issue is one thing that we are working on and always have tried to achieve is being more inclusive and making sure that we provide opportunities for all facets of the community, including those with special needs. And I know a number of the staff have ideas on how they can actually expand that particular effort as well.
First, with our inclusive play, we designed a program called SNAP. It's Special Needs Adaptive Programming. And with that program, we were able to incorporate elements to our existing programs and events where we could get children and adults with disabilities to participate. Also, with the grand openings of the Felipe Tennis and Recreation Center in Cordova Park, we've really energized a community that was looking for programming. We've opened up the Felipe Recreation and Tennis Center, and we've added all kinds of programming over there, including 4 new pickleball courts. We've added the Yard, which is an after-school teen program which provides programming from Carl Henke. The students come over and they get homework help and a variety of recreational elements. And then we also have a community room at the Felipe Tennis and Recreation Center, which has been great for those looking for birthday party options or baby showers or just come over and host a meeting with their neighbors.
If we look at the quality of life issues around the city, I know that parking's always been an issue that comes up, and traffic flow.
One area that is desperately in need of some additional parking is over off of Via Fabricante, where it was developed in a way that did not provide an adequate amount of off-street parking, and I think there's an opportunity there to get creative and find some parking that will support those businesses.
Great, let's get started on that, because I know it's important to those business owners down there.
We looked at the situation, determined that both Via Fabricante and Abrero over here have extra width, and we could utilize that width to shift the traffic lanes towards the center of the road and open up the outside curb areas for additional parking. With regard to traffic flow in the city, we continued our efforts with traffic signal timing, and we also completed 2 intersection widening projects, one at Alicia and Marguerite and the other at Marguerite and Santa Margarita Parkway. Both added additional lanes to increase capacity and reduce congestion. One of the other ways we try to address traffic flow is to take cars off the street. And to that end, we expanded the route for the MV shuttle up north to Lake Mission Viejo. So now our free local circulator runs between the lake and the Metrolink station with key stops in between at places like the mall, the hospital, Saddleback College, Capistrano Valley High School, the community center, library, and civic center. So if you haven't ridden the shuttle, give it a try, and remember, it's free.
I'd like to see the city providing more mentoring of the children in the schools towards STEM opportunities, the science, technology, whatever the other FACACTA initials are and however that goes, but also to look at a retail ambassadors program and look at getting some of the car manufacturers and the hospitals that we have talking to the students about those things that we have for them to look at as career paths down the road.
And that's another role that the city could play, is more of a liaison between the business community and the school. All of the schools have the programs that you just mentioned. The business community is interested in supporting the schools, and I think you as mayor and the rest of us can provide that connection between the business communities and the school districts to enhance.
Yeah, I think it's important that we take advantage of the free things we have and the experiences we have here in the city, and get those people engaged with the students and looking at what their futures could look like.
And STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. And while we understand that the local school districts are actively promoting this, we feel there's a little bit of a disconnect with the subjects the kids are studying in school and where they feel their careers or job tracks could go. And so we brought together industries, businesses involved in STEM disciplines. We had Smart Cups, we had Apple, we had several utility companies, we had a couple of our automobile dealerships. And really the idea was to create mentors that they could share their unique experiences and really show the children where they can go in the future, job-wise and career track-wise. The vision plan was approved by Council last year and had three main concepts: rediscovering the creek, Main Street, and Next Gen Village. We focused our attention on rediscovering the creek. The creek is really a beautiful feature, and it's hidden here, and unfortunately a lot of the businesses up top really turn their back on it. There's trash enclosures, there's loading docks, and they really do nothing to embrace it. And so we've developed a plan that really focuses on the corridor from Marguerite Parkway back to the creek. It creates pedestrian linkages, and there's a greening space in the parking lot which would act as a central gathering spot, if you will. There's also the idea that the businesses could reorient themselves to create restaurants and outdoor patios to really take advantage of, again, this beautiful feature. And there's the potential for an auditorium and bridge over the creek.
And one of the traditions you've always had here in the city is that we end the fiscal year with a surplus. So I'd like to work on doing that as well. I know we have some pension issues we need to address. There's certainly other fiscal responsible conditions that we need to address as well, but I'd love to finish the year with a surplus.
I will commit to you that we will. And that's
Do I get your credit card, or how's this commitment?
One of the things that I'm very proud of is we don't just spend money because it's in the budget. We spend money as it's needed, and if it's not needed, that's what creates the surplus at the end of the year. And we've had a history of providing that surplus. I would not be surprised if we have another $1 million surplus at the end of the fiscal year.
Well, I'll take you up on that and hold you to that, and the city will as well.
For reserves, our reserve level is about 47% at the end of this last fiscal year. We actually achieved a $1.4 million operating surplus for fiscal year ending 17-18, and we shifted most of that reserve, or most of that operating surplus, into the reserve at the end of this fiscal year. So we were able to actually increase our reserve level to almost 48% at the end of this fiscal year. For the healthcare plan unfunded liability, we actually achieved 100% funded status during this fiscal year. We actually did a little bit better than that. We're 109% funded in that plan. We have some excess assets in that plan, and so our focus now has shifted to the pension plan, and in this year we also achieved an 80% funded status in the pension plan during this fiscal year, and we hope to increase that funded status to about 81% over the next fiscal year. So we've been able to achieve a few of the goals that we were planning to achieve during this fiscal year, and Mayor Ed Sachs has done a great job in helping lead the city in doing that.
We have a number of projects that are underway that hopefully we'll be able to accomplish this year. Certainly you're aware of the Matadors Aquatics Complex.
Right, we need to finish that project.
We'll get that finished this year, and I think that'll be a tremendous asset to the community and lead to many more opportunities down the road.
As you can see, I'm here at the Marguerite Aquatics Complex, which is one of the projects that Mayor Sachs wanted to get accomplished in his mayoral term. And so we are here to sort of showcase. There's a major swim meet going on right here. You can see the use is incredible. This project included a new 45-foot dive tower, new pool decks, new plumbing, new pool equipment, a lot of amenities, but most importantly, we were able to increase the pool deck size to create great opportunities for some swim meets, similar to what you see behind me. One of the other goals that Mayor Sachs had also asked was to have the city staff look at all of our parks to see what kind of small things we could do to improve the access, or improve just the amenities so that people can get out and enjoy the neighborhood parks more. One of the things we did is we looked at trying to create some opportunities for some outdoor recreation equipment, similar to what we have on the Village Green at the Norman P. Murray Community and Senior Center. Some of the other things that we do is we're also focusing on some bikeway improvements. People have said they really want to be able to access our facilities via bikes. They want to be able to park their bikes at the facility. So the city's been adding bike racks at many of the city facilities. We're also looking at some opportunities to increase safe routes to both schools, to all of our city facilities. We think that these things are great amenities to the community and all fall within what Mayor Sachs had asked the city staff to do.
Thanks, Keith. And thanks to all the department heads that participated in this video. It gives people an opportunity to see what you do and how you work so hard to get things accomplished for the city. But I'd be remiss if I didn't also thank my fellow council members, Mayor Pro Tem Greg Rass, Wendy Bucknam, Brian Goodell, and Trish Kelly. For it's the five of us together as a unit that get things accomplished here in the city. And I'd also like to thank Dennis Wilberg for his leadership. Dennis allows his department managers to do what they need to do to get the job done, and that's great leadership. We lay upon the foundation that other councils have brought forward and other staff members have brought forward over the years here in Mission Viejo, building upon the Symphony in the Parks, building upon the 4th of July, Santa Claus coming to town, all those programs. And for me as a combat veteran, it's especially touching at how well our city is known for its Memorial Day and Veterans Day celebrations. So as we look forward to 2019, I look forward to being a part of this council that again works towards building upon all those things that this city has come to love and all the programs that we've put together over the past and through now. And I hope to continue to be a strong part of this community for the years to come.
At the beginning of the year, I sat down with Mayor Ed Sachs to discuss some of his goals and objectives for the year. And some of the things that came up. You need to show that to him when we're done.
Now we got to move for real.
And where am I looking? Right at the camera? Right. At Ed? Oh boy. Do you want me to roll right into it, or?
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. It's gotta be like one thing. Okay.
I don't want to stagger.
Am I starting from the top, or are you going to splice in?
No, let's just start from the top.
Oh boy.
Can I say good morning, or what time of day is this supposed to be?
I keep wanting to say good morning.
Hopefully being able to cement our location for the new Station 19. Another piece that came, Station 19, it's 2019. Darn it!
What?
I wasn't recording.
Oh! A portion of the village, sorry.
Okay, do the whole thing over.
Here, what's that? You want to move the microphone? So you know what you're going to be talking about?
Nope, I have no idea. Is it best to stand like this or like this?
And that's a wrap.
That's right.